What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're all doing well. And we have several fun things to discuss today in today's tournament report. First off, we had three more regionals happen while we were out. My brain blanked for a second there. We had Germany, Houston, and Mexico happen while I was out on the road. So we're going to cover all three of those today. Two quick things. The first being I can't cover every single deck for this one just because it's so much to have to cover. So we're going to go over about 4 decks from each of them, and then I will just have to kind of just give shout outs to each of them as we go along. I got at least the top 3 in each one, and then a 4th one from each of these that I thought was kind of cool and wanted to give a little shout out to, just me personally. But the second thing is we actually have to talk about something I was unaware of for the Costa Rica regionals, and it's just something I feel needs I wish I had known about when I recorded that particular tournament report, but can't help it now. It's in the past, but I figured I would at least go ahead and discuss it some today. That being, in this particular one for Costa Rica, I was unaware that certain countries do not allow for certain decks, or I'm sorry, certain sets, or even some boosters are just not allowed just yet. And this fact was true for Costa Rica. I found out after the fact, after listening to one of the Refresh Point podcast episodes, because when I went over the Costa Rica list, I thought it was kind of weird when I went to the singular Nino 8 standby deck that we haven't seen top the rest of the fucking season. It didn't have any cards from the movie set, and I thought that was really weird. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe the person just, it was a stylistic choice, whatever. This is also the only tournament that an Overlord deck won. Turns out the quintessential quintuplets movie set, as well as the Overlord Volume 2 set, are not allowed, or at least at the time that Costa Rica happened, it was not allowed for those to be ran. Like, you could not actually run those in a tournament. So Homeboy here is good, but obviously there's an issue here. And I found out this has been discussed and resolved, obviously, with Bushiroad already. But supposedly the person who played this Overlord deck, because it is like the Eins like deck right now that people are having to like play against in some of the other regionals, this particular person went up to the judges. To my knowledge, that I'm going based off what I have heard, what I have been told. He went up to the judges, the head judge included, and said, "Is it cool if I run this deck?" And from what I was told, this individual was given the thumbs up from multiple judges, and especially the head judge, and was told, "You're good, fam, go ahead and run it." Only to find out when the results got posted that he shouldn't have been able to run this. But Bushiroad, and to their credit, said, okay, that was our B. We fucked up. Our judges were not informed of this properly. We're not going to take the win away from the guy. And so I actually want to give a little bit of a commend there to Bushi for being like, you know what? It's our fault. We fucked up. Homeboy gets to keep his win. He gets to keep his invite to Worlds and everything. To my knowledge, that is what has been resolved. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just going based off what I've been told. Also, I don't live on Twitter like some people, so I don't go on Twitter like ever unless something is necessary. So I just really didn't keep up with any of the drama that was going on at the time. I just wait for these results to get posted, to be completely and totally honest. But like I said, I just want to talk about that real quick before we get into the rest of the video. So technically, Overlord wasn't supposed to have been in this, but Bushi said, you know what? We fucked up. It's our fault. You still get the win. You know, much to the dismay of the Data Live player right here, but regardless, just wanted to say something about that really quick, and let's continue on with the rest of the video. So today we're going to go over Germany, Houston, and Mexico. So for Germany, like I said, I got the top 3, and then I got one more in here that I wanted to discuss. So it was finally won by an Ozki Gura deck. We had 87 players, and Gura finally got the clutch and came through and won it. And I'm very happy to see this because I love Hololive in general. I'm biased, yes. This is the deck that This is the deck list for him. I'm just kind of glancing over to see, like, I haven't really seen this Lammy be played in some of the builds. I've seen it be played, but just not as much. That's just me. But no, it's looking pretty cool. But yeah, Oskigura finally got first place in one of them. To go on, we do have the next two are both slime builds, so we're going to touch up on these very quickly. Because the fourth one actually is going to be a lot more interesting in my mind. It seems to be pretty standard, seems to be pretty cool. We do have some nice SPs to show off in here. I thought this was really cool. Sorry, I'm actually, my head's covering the Milim SP. I thought that was kind of cool. Like we got the Shuna, we got everything in here, basically pretty standard, pretty good. Obviously, I know the ban list is already dropped, so enjoy this while you can. Obviously, the next one is still slime. We do have some neat SPs and whatnot. I think this is like such a cool looking SP. I don't know, it just is. This one is this is the secret rare. I thought this was really fucking cool. If you got a playset of this secret rare, dude, like what the hell? That's just really cool. Also, the Shizu one, also it's just like alternate art for what the level 1 typically looks like. This looks so cool. Like I say, it looks very standard, or what used to be standard. Oh, also, I didn't even notice this. This is the triple rare and everything. This looks so cool. But the fourth deck that I wanted to point out was actually the 8th place deck. Not a 8 pants version, but a standby version of the Miran deck. And I actually like this way more than the Shizu build. That's just personal preference. But I actually I think it could do some stuff, possibly. Especially now with the ban list. Obviously, you can't run the Shizu and the level 2 Miran combos now. So maybe people will go to, this particular one or another standby variant, or, just running more copies of this in general because it lets you search the level 2 out. So, I don't know. That's whatever, but it's something I just wanted to point out really quick. And that is going to be the one for Germany. Let's continue to Houston. We're going to sit on Houston for just a second because this particular one, I have to give 2 shout outs. Not one, but 2 shout outs in this particular one because we knew a bunch of people going to Houston. It had 173 players. I think that's an amazing turnout. So that is really, really good. The first place was a Kanata Marin. Obviously using the Kanata from the trial deck as the level 2 engine, and obviously the Marin finisher. Good card is good. Really can't complain there. And the hodgepodge of just different utility cards that Hololive has access to, just is really fucking good. So that got first place. I'm always happy to see Hololive win no matter which flavor. The second place was a Alice deck. This was Alice Kirito. I see the Kirito right there. Let's see. I don't see anything super like crazy for this one, but I do like to see the SP Yu-Gi-Oh right there. That's kind of cool, man. And even though this was not the Silica version, they were still running the Demonic Sword Graham because you do have several red cards in here, and this is just a really strong card in general. For anyone who doesn't know what it does, you get to give a character 3k power, and until end of turn, your opponent can't play event cards or backup from hand, which is just really, really strong. So the fact that you are running red is understandable. Like, you definitely want to see this and try to drop it on certain decks. Like, it's just a very, very good card. So very understandable, especially if you want to get over some of the crazier level 2 games that people are throwing down. But no, this is really good. But the 3rd and 4th place decks are the ones we actually want to talk about, and I got to give shout outs to. First off, major shout out to one of the Refresh Point boys. Steve from Refresh Point got 3rd place at Houston. Congrats, my dude. I'm so happy to hear that, like, legitimately. And this is going to be his deck build. I definitely think it's really cool. I was looking over it beforehand, obviously, just kind of like glancing over and everything. Got several nice SPs in here, my dude. I hadn't even seen people run this one just yet, so I think this is really cool. The Informant Argo, the Letha SP and everything. And I actually haven't really seen people run this particular Xenon as much for the memory kick. I mostly see the other, the Misumi memory kick. I typically see that one, but if you like the Xenons, you gotta run them. Also, the random death gun thing, I just thought was a really cool addition right there. The giving minus 6,000 power to something is like really crazy. So yeah, just really cool, and definitely like the deck. I don't run the Silica version personally, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. Speaking of giving credit where credit's due, Another good friend of the channel, one of the guys in the Discord group, Space Cowboy, got 4th fucking place with Konosuba in the year of our Lord 2023. This is so cool. The man loves him some darkness, and I actually really love this build as well. I wanted to make like a mono darkness deck, so I based it around the same exact climax combos, utilizing the level 1 that searches out the level 0, this particular level 0 darkness right here, and the level 2 veneer that do a Gurren Lagann fusion effect to summon out the level 3 darkness right here. So I have a deck based around these 2 combos, but obviously I'm not running like the Aquas and some of the other utility cards. I just didn't want to run those. I wanted to focus mainly on darkness for that. But this man is also running some hate. Like I know this one is just a really good event right here. Lurk skill gives all of your adventure goddess characters 2500 power and hex proof at the beginning until the end of the turn. And then you send it to the bottom of your deck, which is a little weird, but I guess it's whatever. But being able to just go, I'm big and all of my shit can't be targeted is honestly really amazing for the combined stuff, because the fusion Gurren Lagann combine effect means this can come out at level 2 and whatnot. So just being able to go, nope, you are not touching it with any of your anti-change backup bullshit. Like, yeah. And then this particular one as well, Seizure of Private Property. I didn't know this was a card. And then I read it and I was like, oh my fucking god. It's a 2/3 backup event. Put all of your opponent's stock into their waiting room, and at the end of the turn, your opponent puts the same number of cards from the top of his or her deck into their stock. This is so hateful for anyone that needs like a shit ton of stock for their combos and everything, for their like finishers and stuff. It just says, nope, get them out of here. And then it forces your opponent to like, you know, get like blind stock potentially a lot of cards from the top of their deck. It's just really cool. So big shout outs to Space Cowboy for getting this and making it all the way to to 4th place. That is fucking awesome. Congrats to Steve as well and Space Cowboy for this. Freaking awesome. Go check out the Refresh Point podcast as well. They've like the day that I'm recording this, they had just dropped the day before their tournament report as well, of them, you know, discussing how Houston was and everything. It was very, very good to listen to. I listened to most of the stuff while I'm driving, you know, either at work or driving home or whatever. So I listened to it on the way home and I was like, I like this. So yeah, go give them a look-see. I'll put a link for them in the description as well. Really cool. And we're going to round it out with Mexico. Mexico had 150 plus players. So they didn't have like an exact number like they did for the other ones, but that's totally cool. No worries. So the top 3 is going to be a quintuplets, which I think is the first quintuplets deck that's actually won any of the regionals this particular season. And the rest of them are all slime. So we're just going to look over the top 3 real quick. And then there's another one up here that I want to talk about real quick that I thought was kind of spicy. So first off, we have obviously El Nino, the Mexico special. Very, very cool there. Love me some Nino. And it is the setup is 3 of the different standbys. The level 3, obviously, really broke sauce. The level 2, and the new level 1 from the movie set. Like I said, this is one of the cards I expected to be in the deck from Costa Rica, but it wasn't, so that's whatever. But just a very interesting blend, personally. I just thought it was a interesting setup for how it is. But, you know, to each their own. Also, this card's fucking broken. This card is so broken. It just, me personally, I run, like, my own version of this deck. I don't run 3 different climaxes. I just run 2 different ones. But this is a very powerful card. Sorry, my head was blocking that as I'm looking at the screen. So this one. So congrats to Homeboy. And second place. 1, 2, 3, ban. I love that. Slime. Very standard. I do like that this person was running more copies of this. A lot of the decks I've seen that for the 8 pants setup haven't run this as much for some reason. I don't know. Like, it's not like they didn't run it at all. It's just either one or none, it seemed. This one's an interesting one. Oh, okay, he actually does run this. This particular wrong guy, I know because Joe runs this. This particular, sorry, this is the derpiest face ever. Summons this particular Xion. So very interesting there. So yeah, just really good. I actually don't think I've seen people run this particular combo. I know there's like a Xion that does like some burn. I think that's what people mostly run. So to see this combo from like, I think set 1? Maybe is it set 1 or set 2? I don't know. It's whatever. Really cool. Then we have third place was also Slime as well. Once again, you're not gonna have to see this that much more, but you got to deal with it for at least a couple more weeks. Now, I don't think I've seen this one get run at all. The Calamity class Charybdis. I know the card, but I don't think I've seen people really run this. So it lets you do some extra burn shenanigans. It's whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and read that fucking like pendulum monster level text there. Oh yeah, this is the one I think people are mostly running. Okay, does cancel burn, and on attack you can pay a cost to burn for. Okay, cool. So the last deck that I want to do a quick little shout out for, I thought was really cool, was Azure Lane. Got 5th place with a 8+2 soul setup. This man woke up and chose violence. Or woman, we don't judge. I've been looking at this because Rex had bought some Azure Lane, and I've been looking through a lot of the cards, trying to help him do some deck builds recently. And this came up, and I was like, hey, yo, what? So I just thought this was really crazy. I don't think I'm going to build it or anything, mostly because I'm not going to be able to afford the Cleve Bros right now. Also, I'm just not interested in building Azure. I may help Rex build it. I don't know. But yeah, for the most part, this is just really cool. I just wanted to give it a quick little shout out. I haven't seen like any decks that just go for just +2 souls top in like a hot minute, but it's whatever. But once again, especially for countries regionals outside of the US, I'm no longer certain what stuff is allowed after the whole Costa Rica thing. So yeah, maybe there was other stuff they didn't have to worry about playing against. We don't see Overlord. Maybe Overlord wasn't allowed for Mexico either. I don't know. But you know, Quintuplets was, and it's not like we didn't have showings of like SAO, Hololive, Oskigura is still here. Oh well, that's gonna be weird. So you know, I didn't mean to click that. I just accidentally did. But yeah, no. So I mean, there's a bunch of other like decks they still had to worry about. This is Psychano right here, Bardor. That's kind of cool. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this particular tournament report. I'm gonna swoop back up here really quick to kind of point out what we have coming up. So the weekend after Thanksgiving, we're gonna have 3 all on the same day: Australia, Singapore, and France. I think we already had Sydney, Australia, so this is gonna be Melbourne, Australia. I am sadly not gonna be able to go to Duluth, but I'm gonna try to finish this up in 2 more tournament reports. So the next one that I do, I'm gonna see if all the stuff has been posted for these particular 3. And then the very last one of the year will be after Anaheim. And we'll try to cover Duluth, Cardiff, and Anaheim, which is, Cardiff just is in the UK. I'm not certain where. And then Anaheim, California. So, USA. We'll be trying to cover those at the, obviously by the end of the year. Trying to like just talk about stuff in a timely manner. But yeah, with that, that is going to be it for this particular tournament report. Thank y'all very much for watching. Like I said, a whole bunch of really awesome decks, really awesome showings. Big shout outs to Steve from Refresh Point and Space Cowboy from the Discord as well. Just I can't give y'all the commends enough. I thought that was so fucking cool. When I heard about it, I was like, yeah, hell yes. There's some other stuff I want to do talking about the live streams. If I can actually find the live streams and watch those, I might actually do a little bit of a reaction to some stuff. Just saying. But with that, thank y'all very much for watching, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.